There's a possibility. Na, 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 na.
Oh, God.
Na, 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 na.
Hannah is dancing.
Yeah, I'm Kate.
She's still contributing. Oh, say it again.
I'm Kate.
And I'm Rachel.
And I'm Hannah.
And this is Feast.
Sheath.
And Shatter.
Is it hot in here or is it just me tuning in to hear these three chatting about fantasy novels of the spicy variety? Not your average book club, if you know what I mean. Are you happy to see us? Or is that a dagger? It's Feast, Sheath, Shatter. It's Feast, Sheath, Shatter.
And we're talking about New Moon, because that's the next one, not Eclipse.
Yeah, a new moon.
New Moon.
Moon.
New Moon by Stephanie Meyer.
The second book in the quadrilogy.
Do you think she's ever going to write 6 versions of each of the books or just Twilight?
Jesus. I don't want that for anybody. Look, I just want to say this at the top of the show for anybody who might be a new listener, or maybe you're an old listener. I'm not sure we liked any of the things that happened in this book. So I'm going to try really hard to be optimistically critical.
Okay.
But rereading at this point, this book did not age well.
No.
But I think it is super important to acknowledge what it did when it came out.
Yeah.
It was fantasy, like kind of.
So you weren't all that thrilled with your reread?
No, but I tried to really. I read through some of the Goodread reviews, some of the ones that came out like a long time ago,
Yeah.
and just tried to get a feel for people who did like it so that we could try and bring some of that.
Do you remember what it felt like reading it the first time?
Yes. And I remember liking it because it was the only fantasy novel with romance that I had gotten my hands on, besides like Le Guin, but she was very like academic.
Yeah, a little drier.
A little dry, yeah. She really wasn't trying to do the woman's fantasy version, I think. I mean, I like Le Guin, but to me it was, I had read Lord of the Rings and, Harry Potter, and like I really, really have always loved fantasy. And I think at that point I was still reading like Philip Pullman and like the Dark Materials and like more young adult stuff. And it felt really like novel. Like, oh, this is cool. I like this. And I remember really enjoying it. It's really accessible. It's easy to read.
Yeah.
And if you don't have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other vampire and fantasy options.
Yeah.
Yep.
It does.
You'll settle.
It's good.
We did
and
settle.
it's just a different time.
It was.
Oh,
It's
it was a different time.
And, there are no cell phones in this. There are no, she uses dial-up. And that was the time that it was written in. So, it's just a different time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
And I think it is, as we're all adults now, y'all are moms. This is just, I was shocked at some of the stuff that is in this book as if it is like normalized.
I am glad we reread them because I think I didn't like it the first time I read it, but I had forgotten just how toxic it is. And I think it's good to have conversations about how these were the books growing up that was like, this was the idealized relationship.
Sure. And I remember feeling like that.
And like, Team Edward, Team Jacob was a thing. And then you read it and you're like, they're both
Team
assholes.
Nobody.
Team Nobody.
Team Bella.
Team Bella go to college and find someone else.
Team Caves.
Team Caves. Like, team learn who you are before you become an immortal.
And the ageism, she won't, it's fine. Like, she has a panic attack because she's going to turn 18.
Right.
And Edward's never going to be 18. And
if you think about what this was, who was the target market for this? Young girls who wanted to center their lives around romance and love.
Yeah.
And I think as as a society, as women have become a little bit more independent, we realize that that's actually not healthy, and that we want to be whole beings that aren't male centric and stand by our partners, like have a lateral relationship versus a orbiting relationship.
Yeah.
And so she was really, and the Mormon influence, that thing you sent just
so
was so
Mormon.
perfect.
Yeah.
What was it?
It was a book. I forget what the title of the book was, but the dedication is for anyone who read Twilight and is like, why are these vampires so Mormon?
Yeah, it's like the guilt and shame of religion faith that Edward carries with him, and the way that plays into sexual repression.
Yes.
And you know, I think Bella's constant lack of agency.
Oh, she's not even a character. She's a means to an end.
Yeah, and in the first book, she's somewhat, we find that she's actually kind of a healthy girl. She doesn't want to pick on anybody. She wants to be kind to everybody. She like strays away from the mean girls. She does read. She's introverted. And then once she meets Edward, that's it.
Literally
She
nothing
dies.
else matters.
She dies. As
That's
a
not
character.
it. Yeah. The only thing that we get from her is, I'm intensely in love with this man. This is my soulmate.
Yeah.
You know, and in a world where we all want to have a soulmate, this is a happily ever after.
Yeah.
But now, I don't want my life to be like that.
I mean, if you think too deeply about Stephanie's lore, it gets really creepy. Like when they change into a vampire, they're frozen completely. Like their mental state, everything about them is completely frozen. So when Edward got turned into a vampire at 17, he's 17 forever. So when Bella dies in love with Edward, she is stuck in love with Edward forever.
Oh, wow.
So it's not that she's like eternal love. It's that she cannot change now. So by turning her when she is obsessed with him, he guarantees she will be obsessed with him for all of eternity.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if that is your goal, this is,
Yeah.
an ideal situation for you.
Let's talk about what Edward does to Bella, who is obsessed with him in the beginning of this book.
Yeah, I forgot. So
It is literally unforgivable, and she immediately forgives him.
Yeah. Well, he walks her. Okay, so all she does is cut her finger, and then Jasper's going to kill her.
She goes over to the beautiful modern home.
Yeah. For the birthday party she doesn't want because Alice will never take no for an answer. Because
zero agency.
Bella doesn't get to make decisions about her own life.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And when she does try to say no, it's guilt.
And Alice,
silly Bella.
It's this constant,
Hush, Bella.
we know better than you for you.
Yeah.
So
She really is like a pet.
but in a way, shit. Sorry, I lost my thought because I looked at my phone.
Well, they take her to the birthday party and she cuts her finger immediately because she's borderline disabled.
Yes.
I was gonna say, in a way, Oh
Gone?
God, it's like a tiny stroke. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
It like really comes in and then leaves. What I was gonna say is, I don't think that Bella has ever. I think because of her parentification, I don't think she even really knows who she is.
No.
Because she's like, her constant thinking that she's a burden on people becomes extremely annoying throughout this book. Like, if you're going to love this man, you need to step up and take accountability for the role that you play here. You can't just constantly pretend. Like, you can feel bad that things are happening, but you've chosen this.
I think this is Stephanie's attempt to make her an independent woman. The like, oh, he can't be a burden on anybody. I think that's Stephanie's like, see how strong and independent she is?
I think you're
that
right.
isn't strength.
Whereas any reasonable person would be like, you're a billionaire? Yeah, buy me a car. Yeah, no, that's fine. You want to give me a car? I'll take a car.
Yeah.
Or
that was
just
her.
saying
Just put
like,
it in my
I
name,
will
please.
use our partnership to build independence within the partnership.
Right.
Rather than the like arms out hesitation, you can't do anything for me. It's like, I have to be, anyways, sorry, I think I'm
So
getting
weird.
Yeah. So birthday party, cuts her finger. Jasper, who
Paper cut.
just went through a ballroom scene, like the ballet room scene where he was like covered in buckets of her blood.
Buckets.
And he was like, no, I'm good. I'll help dismember this guy. Is like a paper cut and like almost kills her. And then Edward like freezes her out for like 2 days where he will not talk to her or touch her or hang out with her. Like he'll be with her, but he won't talk to her.
It made me furious.
And
it was so avoidant.
It was rudest.
toxic. No communication.
And she doesn't get mad at him. She's like, oh my God, I did something wrong.
What did I do?
Yeah,
Oh,
and this
no.
constant, it's this constant, right. And
Yeah.
it's an immediate like anxious attachment. It's an immediate like cry for attention.
Yeah.
He's the withholding.
Yes, immediately withholding.
Immediately withholding. And there is nothing healthy or attractive about someone that is withholding in that way.
Yeah. And then he takes her out into the middle of the woods and he's like, oh, by the way, I'm leaving. Forget about me. I'm taking everything so you won't even be able to remember my face. Bye. And leaves her in the forest alone.
Leaves this pathetic human, this poor Bella. I mean, y'all have treated her like an idiot this entire time. You're going to leave her in the middle of the woods?
I mean, she is, 17?
She lays down to die.
She literally like accepts her own death.
Yeah, she goes into a heartbreak coma.
Yeah. Right
which
there.
is a real thing. But also, it's like she was like,
They dated for like 3 weeks before that happened. It's not even like they were together a long time.
well,
Yeah.
when you know, you know.
When you know, you know.
Fated mate.
You ought to know that,
You ought
Rachel.
to know.
Happy anniversary, by the way.
Yeah, it's
thank
Rachel's
you.
anniversary, and she invited
16 years.
16 years with her fated mate.
Holy shit.
I know.
What is that like? Tell
I
me.
have no idea
Pause
because it does
moment.
not feel like it's been 16
Rachel's
years.
corner, a fated mate.
It does not feel like 16 years. So I don't know. I don't know where
Do
that
you
came
still
from.
get butterflies when you look at him?
Sure.
Was that convincing?
Yes. What do you want? What?
Just
Yes.
sometimes you go, does he make you giggle?
I don't know. We went to Carowinds and we got to like be the annoying couple in line all day.
Today?
Yeah.
You went to Carowinds, just the two of you?
Yeah.
And you were like smoochy?
Well, not making out.
That's so cute.
Oh my God.
What the heck?
I always looked at those couples in line at Carowinds like,
Get out of here. Gone. Get out of here. You seen that meme recently of that old lady like hovering down the she's just like walking really slowly down her driveway, flicking somebody off. I'm gonna call the cops. Get out of here. Go on, get out of here.
no.
That's how it feels. That's really sweet.
That's really sweet.
Thank you. It was fun. I went to Barnes & Noble and bought too many books.
No.
Good
Did you
anniversary.
record that?
No. Just
We'll
went.
do that for content. Whatever. TikTok
Yeah,
sucks.
I'm a really bad content
TikTok
creator.
fucking sucks. Yeah, it sucks.
Because it's my life and you don't get to share it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So silly. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah, so she-
congratulations on 16 years. Thanks
Thank
for being
you.
role mates.
Can't imagine I
models.
would
Roommates.
lay down to die in the middle of the forest, though.
What about when you were 17?
I don't think so.
I don't, yeah.
I
Have you
hated
ever
this. I
felt like
hated this
that?
book when I read it because I thought Edward was a giant douchebag, and he still is. Congratulations, Edward.
And this was my favorite book, I remember
Well,
originally.
this book,
because I was Team Jacob.
so, and that's what she needed a tool for Bella to have another love interest. She wanted there to be
A love triangle.
a love triangle. And so she
Yeah.
was like, we got to get rid of Edward. How are we going to get rid of Edward?
Well, in the illustrated guide, she talks about why she had Edward leave. And she says Edward had to leave because that's what made him a good person.
She needs therapy.
Because if he had stayed knowing that his presence harmed Bella, then he would just be someone who hurt her. He wouldn't be someone who thought of her first. So he did that because he's so selfless.
Oh, God.
And he was willing to be hurt by leaving her. to
so he's a
save
martyr
her.
to like self-flagellate himself.
Yes.
by leaving and going to Italy
Yes.
and just literally taking everything that she had of him.
Yeah.
Anyways, when she does
correct.
that, then I do like the kind of mystery of the wolves. This book is
the wolves are
until
cool.
this Jacob shows the fuck up in this book.
He's not bad in this book.
No,
I liked
he
Jacob in
is
this book a lot.
Not
He's
okay
so-
in the next book.
No.
Yeah,
But
no.
in this book, you are Team Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I was reading it, I was like, oh, look, he's not just, in the next book, he's a quote unquote nice guy.
Yeah.
In this book, he's just a decent dude.
Yeah.
He's just a decent person
Yeah.
that cares about her.
He helps her learn how to fix her motorcycle.
Yeah, he's there for her. He supports her. He's not, and I guess this is kind of like during his wolf transition.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
he becomes a wolf in this
like
book.
halfway through.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I really hate that they call themselves werewolves.
But
They are shifters
they'd say that at the
and
And
like
of
Breaking Dawn.
Yeah, I listened to that part on the way over.
okay.
Yeah, that there's actual werewolves there
Yeah.
that are like. I bet she got shit for that,
I'm sure she did.
and so she
Oh,
added
so
it
she
in.
just put that
Yeah,
in.
because
Yeah.
those are shifters,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
by choice.
Yeah, if you can just shift
They
whenever
can
you
shift on command,
they can
not
shift
at the
on
full
command,
moon.
and they're not humanoid. Werewolves stand up.
And they don't.
Yeah.
They're not venomous.
It's like the damn dragons in House of the Dragon. Those are wyverns.
House of
Wyverns.
Wyverns.
Yeah.
I'll be watching House of Wyverns tonight.
I'm gonna be watching House of Wyverns tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
My mom said,
Better than
"Okay,
this."
remind me again. Are the dragons in House of Dragons dragons or wyverns? Wyverns." And I said, "They're wyverns.
Yeah, they don't have
They
front
have
feet.
2 legs.
2 legs and wings.
Dragons have 4.
Yeah. In most fantasy universes, they do what they want.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It was probably
I forgot
hard.
we were talking about fantasy.
Honestly, in like a CGI world, it might be harder to do the second set of legs. Maybe that was the choice for the aesthetic of the creatures.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, because what did their little arms do while they're flying?
They flail like a luck dragon.
Yeah.
Boy, they get tucked up.
Yeah, they tuck up.
Oh, yeah, like a
landing gear.
bird.
Or landing gear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
landing gear.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how they scoop people up. Like Taryn can catch Violet
Yes. In
with his
hand.
claws. With his scoops. He scoops them.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways, back to fucking Twilight.
Well, then we get the month pages. The like.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
and
book,
that's
they're
where
just-
that's where the song in the show is.
I bailed. That's when I
There's a
bailed.
possibility.
I did not make it past that point in the book.
Yeah, when you first read it.
And when I first read it, I was like, well, because I want Bella to be pissed. Because I would be pissed. And
Yes.
she's not pissed. She's like,
she's catatonic.
She's like, I knew I was never good enough for him and he was going to leave me eventually. And I'd be like, that fucking son of a bitch left me in the middle of the goddamn woods.
You know,
Yeah.
I think there is something to say about the fact that a lot of us were living this mental state when we were that age, though, and that time in that society.
It makes me
Yeah.
so
I
sad
remember
for myself.
having feelings for people who didn't even like me that were this strong.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
twin flamey,
Yeah.
soulmatey
I think it
stuff.
says a lot about the world we grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
That we,
Absolutely. I mean, look what we were reading.
I was working at
Yeah.
Books A Million when the movies were coming out, and people would come in and buy these books, and we could not keep them on the shelf. And it was all these older women that were like, "Oh, Edward is so dreamy. I just love these books so much."
He is not even that hot.
And you're like, "Ugh."
He has
You
a
better
s-
not be talking about Robert Pattinson right now.
In the book, Edward
Oh.
in the book.
Oh,
Just
okay.
go with that. Then we can all stay friends. Fine, fine.
He ain't my cup of tea. You know who is? Oh my God, Hannah! Tonight when you watch House of Wyverns,
Yeah.
there is a guy who plays Cregan Stark. You'll notice him. He's got a Yorkshire accent, which I think is the most masculine accent of all time. Girl.
I can't wait.
He is.
He's so hot, your earring fell out.
Yeah. My earring just fell out. He is I was like, am I too old to be barking at this man? I'm just like at home barking at this guy. Like, holy shit, this is and his just energy and swagger on screen. And then I'll send you his Instagram. He's like that in real life.
That's how I feel about Emma Darcy.
Oh God, she's so hot. She's so hot.
They.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
they are so hot.
Yeah. I have those feelings. I have them. That's why I watch it for the plot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For the plot, quote unquote. So back to New Moon.
Oh, yeah.
We're all
Fucking
like, can we
Twilight.
please stop fucking talking about? No, we're going to do this.
We're going to do it. And
I remember because I didn't like it when I read it. So I remember being like, why do these people like it? And I don't know. Maybe because I feel like the movies glossed over so much of what is so extremely problematic in the books.
Oh, absolutely. The I think the liberal ass folk at the Hollywood were like, yeah, we can't do this.
Yeah.
the movies fixed the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm curious.
100%.
I'm curious to rewatch the movies. I think we should do that.
Yeah,
next.
we're doing that.
Because I remember them as better, but were they better? Because I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like I've watched the movies a ton over the years, and I was shocked at some of the stuff in the books. Like I had forgotten
Because she
how
becomes
toxic.
like suicidal. And
Yeah.
Stephanie makes a point of mentioning, like, I'm not suicidal. But that moment when she takes Lauren to Port Angeles and they're walking past a group of guys and she starts walking up to the group of guys with Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
And Lauren is like, what the fuck are you doing? And-
Jessica.
oh, sorry. Is it Jessica?
Mhm.
Yeah. And Jessica's like, what the fuck are you doing? And she keeps
She
doing
says,
it. Bella
"Are you
keeps,
suicidal?"
she goes, all right, what are you doing? Because she's walking up to a bunch of grown men outside this bar who are clearly intoxicated. And Jessica is freaking out. And Bella keeps doing it because she can hear his voice. And that's when she realizes if she's in mortal danger, she can hear his voice. And from that moment on, she's like, she's self-harming. She's self-harming
she's
from then on
self-harming.
out.
Chasing death.
And then she's like, I don't understand what the fuck is wrong with Jessica. Like, why doesn't she like me anymore? Because she's so lame. You almost got her raped.
Yeah.
You could have gotten your friend raped. Why do you think she doesn't like you, Bella? Take
Yeah, I was
2
with
seconds.
Jessica on that one. I wouldn't have been friends with Bella anymore.
No.
No, she's so like chaotically unlikable in this section. And the only thing that saves her is when she meets Jacob.
Right.
And he gives her like a direction where you're like, okay, she's not actively harming the people around her in her quest for harm. Because when she's riding on those motorcycles, she doesn't wear a helmet.
Yeah.
She goes like she hits a tree. She
just
goes
reckless.
to the
No
hospital
helmets.
like 3 times.
Like, you know that line in that Taylor Swift song where she talks about, can't remember it.
Oh, man.
it's probably a good one though.
I love to throw
I'm
in
sure-
a Taylor Swift line.
I'm sure Taylor has something about this.
Well, yeah, because she dated Jacob.
yeah.
Taylor
remember?
Lautner.
Taylor
Taylor and
Lautner.
Taylor.
Taylor. No, it's
I love how he's done nothing.
He's still recovering from this.
Yeah.
he's married.
And that Robert Pattinson hates these movies so
'Cause he's smart.
desperately much.
Everything he says about this franchise makes me laugh so hard. And I'm just wondering, like, what Stephanie thinks about this. Like, what is she thinking right now?
I think she's probably nothing. I'm sure if you were in there, it'd be like the bird. It'd be like, well, you know, the like Disney scene where like the animated birds are like, and they just fly by. That's the inside of Stephanie's head at all times. Yeah.
At all times. Merry-go-round.
Yeah.
The circus.
Or the scene from SpongeBob where Patrick is like, the inner workings of my mind are an enigma, and it zooms into his head and it's just like a container of milk and it tips over. And that's all it is. It's just the milk running out of the container. Stephanie.
That's her.
I like watching stuff about the stupid doll. We're not to Breaking Dawn, but Kate's looking something up. So the doll was made by the same company that made Grogu, Baby Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
The Chuck Esme doll,
Yes.
which they call Chuck Esme.
Chuck Esme.
And I guess they showed it to Stephanie, and Stephanie had no comment. She was like, okay. Yeah, I'm sure it was like just static. And then she was like, yeah, that's fine. I don't know. It's a doll.
My God.
So ugly. I remember seeing it in
You
the theater and
should-
going, what?
I know.
It was so bad.
I laughed out loud in the theater.
Can you imagine putting all that time and effort and money into these movies and then you have to act with that doll and you just know this is going to torpedo everything?
With the worst wig in history on your own head.
Yeah.
I can't get over the wigs in that movie.
No, they're all so bad.
Oh. So yeah. Also we have Charlie, who
Yes.
is watching his daughter just
Poor
disintegrate
Charlie.
before his eyes.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what to do. He feels helpless. He's like, all right, you're moving back with your mom. When she starts hanging out with Jacob, he gets happy. He's like, yeah, he encourages that. He's so relieved
Well,
that
they do
she's
homework
finally
together and like cute
Yeah.
stuff. Like they're actual friends.
friends. And it's not, well, if I was Charlie, I would be concerned that my daughter's only okay if she's with a boy all the time.
Yeah.
Because whether or not her and Jacob are just friends or something more, she is with him all the time. She's either at school, at work, or with Jacob.
Yeah.
And I would be like, why are you only okay when you're with a boy?
That would be the moment for Charlie to be like, well, I can see you're getting better. Would you like to go to therapy? Can we go talk to somebody about what just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. But instead, we're just not going to talk about it because if we don't talk about it, then it doesn't exist and we can just push it down.
Mm-hmm.
We can just push all that down.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't cause any problems and it never comes back. And that's how you fix problems.
Sounds good to me.
I
Yeah.
love repression.
I love it.
Depression and repression.
That's the subtitle of this book, New Moon. I love repression.
yeah.
Yes.
Because pretty soon she jumps off that cliff because she figures out they're werewolves. I don't know. She jumps off the cliff and like Victoria is supposed to be the bad guy, but she's such a non-existent bad guy. I honestly forget she exists until they mention it again.
It's kind of wild how little how Victoria is supposed to be what's moving the plot forward, but like literally how little she has to do with the plot.
She's never even in it. We never even see
yeah, and
her.
in the movies, Bryce Dallas Howard just you see her running around.
Mm-hmm. Just glimpses of
Yeah,
red
the
hair.
red hair
Yeah.
on the escalator stairs, the flat escalator.
Well, she's
diving
there
in
when
the ocean.
She's
Yeah.
there when Bella jumps because she's like, "Is there a flame on the water?" And you're like, "That's fine, Bella." And then it takes her like 6 chapters to be like, "Fire can't burn on the water." What could that have been? And then she's like, "Could it have been red hair?" And you're like, "Yeah, I think that's you have to fucking find
It
it."
literally takes so long for her to go to the ocean.
Like,
yeah.
wait a minute, was that a head?
Fire
Like
in the water.
Victoria waves. She's like, "Oh my god, the fire is waving at me." She falls in the water. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then that's when they think she's dead because Alice
Well,
can't
she-
see the werewolves.
She does drown, and Jacob does CPR to
Yeah,
bring her back.
Revive her.
Dies a little bit.
She dies a little bit.
And she
Yeah.
sees her man.
She's like, "I'm
gets what she
ready
wants.
to
That's
die because
so
he's here with me."
self-destructive.
Yeah, and she's like
I'm
so
telling
happy
you, man,
to die.
she's like a Virgo with all Pisces. She's so self-destructive.
I can't believe this was a role model relationship.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
that's disturbing.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
We've grown.
So glad
Well,
how
I
far
think
we've
it's
gone.
also kind of like, to me, it just says it's like pretty privilege. Like if you're pretty, just people think you're so interesting automatically.
Yeah.
You know? And she's doesn't really offer anything. Sorry.
It's really weird because she doesn't really get described. She has extremely white skin.
yeah.
She has brown, like chocolate brown
plain.
eyes, and she has dark
But
hair.
she's not.
That she's somehow capable of hiding behind all the time. But we don't get a good description. Like Edward says when he first meets her that she's plain. And then over time, he's like, "Oh, okay, maybe she's prettier than I thought she
Maybe
was
she's
at
the most
first."
beautiful thing I've ever seen in the entire world.
And then other people are like, "Well, she's okay, but she's not." Like we get a range of how people think of her.
mm-hmm.
She's just regular. She's just a regular
Which
white
is-
girl.
Yeah. Yeah, your girl next door.
I remember a commenter who used to review the books when they were coming out. He called her pants. because she's just like a pair of pants. Like everybody just gets to. It's like she's nothing.
Yeah.
She's whatever whoever she's with.
She's a mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when she's with Jacob, she's reckless and fun and extroverted, and she hangs out with people and she likes to be with that big group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she's just with Edward, she only wants to be with Edward. She doesn't want parties. She doesn't want to be with anybody. She doesn't want anything. And then when she goes back to Jacob, sure, I'll go to the party at the fire. I'll go do all these party things with you.
Yeah.
Because it's whoever she's with at the moment.
Well,
Yeah.
and that is such a teenage way of living. That is such a low frequency way of living your life.
She rips her car stereo out with her bare hands because Emmett put it in there.
Yeah. And it reminded her.
It reminded her of Edward.
Which, that seems like a plot hole, because why wouldn't Edward replace that when he left and took away all traces of him?
I don't know. But
Yeah, you missed something, dumbass.
He finds it later in her closet and he's like, what's this? And she's like, the radio. And he's like, oh, Emmett's going to be really upset you broke it.
Oh,
How freaking dare you?
yeah, but she.
And she goes, I know, I'm really sorry.
Okay, that's, yeah.
The look of horror on Kate's face.
Everything Edward says at the end of this book makes me hopping mad.
But it's like the Mormon dream.
There is blood and fingernails on this because she says she ripped her fingernails out, digging it out of her own dashboard. And he's like, oh, you broke it.
And she's like, owns
Because
it.
she flies over, because first she sees Alice and she's like, Alice. And she like falls on Alice, which I know Alice is supposed to be like her BFF, but I never get it. Alice is so manipulative. She's so overbearing. She's
so overbearing.
She's so much like I never get.
She's like a
friendship.
handler. She's a Bella handler.
She's like a Bella's owner. Like she puppy sits. Like every once in a while, Edward lets her puppy sit, and she's like, "Oh, I get to keep that puppy today.
You get to watch Bella while I go out of town."
Yeah. Don't forget to take her out for walkies. I bought her a bed. She can sleep in that. I put some food in the fridge if she gets hungry. Just make sure she goes to the bathroom every 2 to 3 hours.
Jesus.
I'm working on house training her. Like, it's fine.
All right, that's for the next book.
Okay, sorry.
Hold it in. So Alice shows up. She's like,
she like runs in and hugs her, like grabs her and holds her like a lifeline.
mm-hmm.
And then they find out that, do you not want him on your lap?
No, it's okay. But you know how when cats get cuddly, they
Make
actually
biscuits?
claw you.
His claws don't go back in because he's old and sometimes things don't retract like they used to.
Oh, it's okay. I can take it.
Take the pain.
I can take the pain.
Matt just clipped his nails, so it
yeah,
shouldn't be
it's
too
not
bad.
so bad. I don't think it'll break the skin.
Okay.
I just get a little scared, but I'm fine.
He's fine. He won't hurt you at all.
I get clawed to death every day of my life.
He only looks like a soldier. He's not. He's the sweetest. You can pet him. It's okay.
No, I know.
One finger.
2 fingers.
I mean, I don't mind.
Two
I like
fingers
cats
along the
okay.
spine.
I like him. He's a good boy.
But
He
then
got
they-
the squishies in your face. But yeah.
They rush off to Italy, like immediately. She's like, oh shit. Because Rosalie tells him that she's dead, tells Edward that she's dead. And then Alice is like, great. Now he's going to go kill himself.
Great.
Why did Rosalie think she was dead? I remember this because Alice said she
saw
couldn't
it.
see her.
Yeah. She jumps off the cliff and she can't see Jacob saving her, so she thinks she's just dead. And so Rosalie's like, Bella died, and tells Edward.
Yeah.
Like, teehee, she died a human, which is what I wanted her to
And
do.
then,
I told you.
and then he gets a glimpse of what life is like without her.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I guess I'm going to go unalive myself.
Yep. So
Which
he goes
is-
all the way to Italy. So we get to figure out Stephanie's thing that she thought of in that very moment. Oh no, she talks about them in Twilight for like 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Volturi.
The Volturi.
I actually kind of think the Volturi are the coolest part.
Do you know
be
why
honest.
the Volturi are like different looking? Why they have cloudy eyes and like creepy skin?
Because they're old?
No. She talks about this in the illustrated guide.
Oh,
It's because sometimes vampires sit still for so long that dust will settle on them and petrify.
yeah.
including their eyes.
Yeah.
That is
So they're
lot.
just real dirty.
okay. So they just need a bath.
No, it's petrified into their skin now.
Well, like how long do you have to sit still for that to happen?
I have no idea.
I wish she would have taken physics in
I
high
just
school.
love Stephanie's scientific explanations for stuff in the illustrated guide were deeply amusing.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So they have crepey skin because there's been millennia of them just sitting
Just
still like
chilling.
statues.
Yeah.
Is that how old they are? Like, do we get it?
They're thousands of years old.
Yeah, they're very old.
Because they beat the Romanians, because we talk about that in Breaking Dawn and in
Mhm.
the illustrated guide.
They beat the Romanians.
Because like Romanians like Dracula, like they show up in Breaking Dawn and their names are like Vlad and Chad or something. They're like
Yeah.
they're like the dumbest. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I kind of like them the best. It's probably because that one actor played the main one.
Yes.
And he's amazing.
I
He's
love-
David Tennant's bestie.
Oh yeah, Michael Sheen, the Volturi.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
amazing.
Michael Sheen had no business.
Oh my
being in
God,
this
did you see
movie.
Michael Sheen in Underworld?
Yes.
Do you remember how
Yes.
fucking hot he was?
Yeah, I love that he
Yes.
can. I love that he can do that, and he can be a Xerophale.
Yeah, like
he
Gary-
can be the
Uh-huh.
strength to do both.
like Gary Oldman's range.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Jeez.
Agreed.
yeah, he had no business. The Breaking Dawn is star-studded. It has Michael Sheen. It has the guy from Foundation, Lee Pace.
Oh God, don't even get me started on Lee Pace.
Lee
that
Pace is in it.
That man
He's like the Revolutionary
is
Soldier
a
guy.
dream.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, he's
Yes.
so beautiful. He's also Legolas's dad
Yeah,
in The
Thranduil.
Hobbit. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's so good, and he's in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's just really, he's like 6'7".
Yeah.
So he's just really good at like these statuesque characters.
yeah.
Empire.
But-
And so he plays in Foundation.
As soon as she sees Edward, it's like all is forgiven. Literally,
She races. First of all, if I was Charlie, I would never forgive her for running out of the country without asking me or telling
and
me.
this is the second time she's done it in
She
like 3
this is the
months.
second time you've done this to me. First of all,
Well-
I'd have never forgiven you for running off to Phoenix last time.
Well, in all honesty, if you're going to make your daughter the most responsible person, and then you are also going to allow her to run your household, you then cannot be mad when she acts like an adult.
yeah, I get
Yeah.
that.
That's fair.
I hear you.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I could have seen myself feeling like I had the agency. The only agency she has is when she runs away from her parents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So,
Yeah,
She's not-
She jumps on a plane. She's off.
yeah.
She's gonna risk her
Well, and the
life
thing is, they're,
again.
Yeah.
they're like
And Alice's
billionaires,
life.
so they can do whatever they want.
And they never fly private.
That's
Crazy.
unbelievable.
But probably Stephanie was like, people have those?
Wait, no, wait.
Stephanie had no idea.
Wait, yeah, it actually doesn't make sense for them to own an island but not have a play.
To
Why
not
would
have
you
a
not
private,
have-
yeah, not have a private
That's
plane.
another thing the
people
movies fixed.
Yeah.
Because, like, what would happen if you were at that window seat, but it was one of the windows that was in front of you, and the kid opened the window and you started sparkling in the
No.
plane,
Plus, you can't
and,
get
like,
a
your shimmer prisms, rainbows were all over the place.
You can't get a paper cut. And you're going to go in a hurtling steel can through the air with hundreds of humans trapped in there. And
No.
it's
No.
not going to end up like snakes on a plane. Like
Yeah.
that's not how that's going to turn out.
Wait, what?
You
I'm
put
not
a
following.
vampire
You're a
in
vampire.
Oh,
in
yeah.
a
Oh, yeah.
plane
Oh,
full
yeah.
of humans.
There's no air coming in.
Edward could handle it,
I mean, sure.
but not Jasper.
But then Jasper's also flying coach with
Yeah,
everybody else
They have
apparently.
got to
I
be
would
taking
not
their
have
private
let-
jets.
How was Jasper going to high school when Bella can't get a paper cut?
That's what I'm saying.
No.
Pothole. So they do fly. They do commercial flight. They do scheduled
in the
flights
books,
in the books.
they just buy tickets.
But on TV, on the movies, do they private jet?
Private.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the movies, they pull up in the nice car, get out, walk onto their plane, and their
Ooh, they got
pilot
that.
takes them.
They on the tarmac. I love it when you board on the tarmac. That's
Yeah.
some bougie stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. You have unlimited wealth, basically.
Yeah. They own an island.
They own an island.
Also, why couldn't Carlisle have just picked up the phone and called one of his vampire homies over there and said, hey, can you go tell my son that Bella's actually alive?
Well, he wouldn't have believed anyone.
Whatever.
That was what they were like. She has to be there. He has to see her.
I just feel like there were
only way he's
100
gonna
steps
believe.
between here and there.
Well, everybody lies to each other all the time, so he never would have believed them because they're all gaslighting each other constantly.
Yeah,
Constantly.
Because that's how you function as a family.
in a society in that
In
day.
a Mormon society.
Yeah.
yeah.
Clearly.
So she runs up and all is forgiven. She's like, Edward, oh my God, I love you so much.
We're back together now.
And he's like,
And then the little family sees.
Mhm.
And does the little family get taken as well?
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
Because he doesn't quite walk out because she like tackles him back into the shadow.
Yeah,
and
and the
he's
little
like-
girls see him.
He's like, I'm in heaven. I must have already died. That was so much faster than I thought
Carlisle
it was
was
going to be.
right.
Carlisle was right. I do have a soul, and you're here with
Yay.
me.
It was way too long that he was
And
in.
you're just like, can you?
She's like slapping him across the face. Wake up! You're alive.
And then the Volturi take them to their like. I love how they go through the they go through the sewer grate and they
Mhm.
go through they sneak through the sewer tunnels and then they end up in an office building.
Yeah.
Like,
Like a really nice one.
yeah,
with a lovely human secretary who just
Mhm.
wants to be a vampire.
yeah.
Oh,
Creepy.
And then they kill everybody.
Oh
they meet
yeah, the
Volturi.
tour group coming through at the end is really creepy.
It is. And Edward does always know that how bad and how serious it is. And Bellany never seems to really grasp the situation.
Yeah.
I think until then, until
Yeah.
she sees the people walking
Yeah.
towards their death
Right.
and then hears the screams, it finally clicks to her. Oh, vampires kill people
Vampires eat
and
people.
drink their blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, situational awareness isn't her strong suit. That explains all the tripping.
Well, also there's a thing called, what's the thing called where you don't have a good spatial awareness? It's similar to ADHD. There's a word for it. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Dibba dibba da.
Dibba-dibba-da.
Lack of proprioception.
I don't know what it is. Maybe.
Proprioception is the awareness of where your body is in space.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
So she's not good at that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Or at where anybody else's body is or how much danger her body actually is in. Thinking that she's always going to be the one to save everybody because they can't risk themselves for her, but they're immortal vampires. And they're all like, we're going to be fine. And she's like, no, you're not. You're lying to me. No.
Yeah.
No, you're going to put yourself at risk for me and you're all going to die. And they're like, I mean, no. And then she's like, I want your strongest fighter to come stand with me and not over there. So never mind. That's the next book.
Yeah, hold it in.
Hold it in.
Yeah. Well, I do I do enjoy the werewolves, the shifters. I do
Yeah.
like their story. I like that lore. I thought that was I didn't have as for a fantasy book, I enjoyed that part of it.
I like the pack.
Yeah, I like the
culture.
story. I like the third wife story, even though that
Maya
might be in the
talking.
next one. I like that where they come from and why they became into. I like the fact that it's the vampire's presence that it makes it seem
turns
like
them on.
it
Yeah.
makes it seem like the world is magical.
Yeah.
And I love a world with magic.
Yeah.
It's just so much better than a real
To me,
world.
it feels just a teensy bit like we watch a lot of 90s TV. And remember, 90s and early 2000s TV always had the Native American mysticism episode
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
where the shaman would show up.
That
Sure.
one actor
That one guy.
that was
Yeah.
in every
Yeah. That's what
was it Graham Greene?
Yeah. Free Willy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dances with Wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sumani Tutanka Uwachi.
And I think New Moon.
We had a.
Is
No.
he in New Moon?
No.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Hold on, let me look it up.
Literally.
Graham Greene.
Well, there was a moment for there was a whole Barbie thing with natives, and there was native. Remember the plates, the Reader's Digest plates? They were all native. It was a moment in
It
the
was a
90s
moment.
and 2000s where you were we're pretty sure natives are the thing. Like that's where magic
It
comes
was
from.
Pocahontas. It was, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the mystical Negro, but the natives. And that's what it feels a little bit to me. Like she was like, I need magic, but white people can't have magic. So there must be a tribe. And I think there actually is a tribe there. It says so in the illustrated guide that she like made up Jacob just to tell Bella about Edward in the first book. Like that was going to be Jacob's only job because he's the one who tells the story. And then her editor was like, well, I like Jacob. We need to bring him back. And she was like, oh, okay.
I'm going to have him fall in love with a baby.
Yeah. Which is the most morbid thing.
He is definitely Harry Clearwater. He is definitely Harry Clearwater. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Graham Greene pulling through.
The man had a steady job from like 1995 to like 2010.
Yep.
They were like, who do we call? We're like, we got you. We know.
Who do we call?
It's like the one guy who's always Chinese.
Yeah.
What's his name? He voices the duck in the Kung Fu Panda. He's even in Forever Night is like the Chinese guy. He's in Big Trouble in Little China. Hang on.
Oh. Yeah, he's also in the movie you didn't like.
Yes, he's the grandfather in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah. Hold on, I got it.
James Hong?
Maybe.
Oh, you didn't like that movie?
I did not like that movie.
It was too stimulating.
It was too much.
I haven't watched it.
This is great.
I'm almost positive it's James
Yeah,
Hong.
it's James Hong.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That's how it ends, basically. They talk to the Volturi and then they go home. And then Jacob's like, which I get his outrage at the end. Isn't it at the end of this book where he's outraged because he sees them together and he's like,
Yeah, I mean,
he tried to kill. He left you in the middle of the fucking woods.
That's how your best friends feel too when you go back to your first toxic boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, like when you have to
and
have
then
that.
you try to like hide it,
and it's like they're the ones that have been holding your hair as you've been sobbing and making sure that you know, when you got wasted and threw up, like they take care of you. And then when you go back, and you're just like, you know.
Yeah.
But at that time, that was what we all thought was love.
Yep.
You know, so
it was the Carrie Bradshaw and Big.
Yes.
Just keep going back.
Yeah. Like he's the love of her life. Right? And I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then like in this book, you know, Jacob is a better guy, but it's almost like the point of it is, but do you ever like the nice guy? And in this book, it's like, well, in this book, you should. And in the next book, hell no, he turns into the bad, nice guy.
Yeah, he's the like, but I've done so much for you, you owe me guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me take advantage of you guys.
I'm actually surprised and a little proud of my younger self for being Team Jacob, because that doesn't sound like me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Bella is a funner character when she's with Jacob, consistently.
She's more interesting.
Yeah. She's herself. She actually gets
because she's having to find
herself.
herself.
I think it's because he was tall, honestly.
Well,
he is super tall.
Okay, well, I was trying to give young
Isn't
Hannah
he like
a bone there.
6'5"?
He's like so
and
tall.
muscly as shit.
He like starts out the summer, the book at like 6 feet, and then by the next book, he's like 6'7".
That's nice.
Yeah, a 16-year-old who's 6'7" and physically 25.
25.
Physically 25.
He's physically 25.
So I'm a pedo.
Yeah, he's 16,
pretty much.
Damn,
but
okay, so
physically 25.
No, gross, young man.
Young man.
Young man.
Put your shirt on.
Sir.
And your shorts.
Sir. Yeah.
Because you're naked all the time running through the woods.
Oh, my God.
Okay, are we ready to talk about?
Yeah, thank you for joining us for this episode of Feast, Sheath, Shatter.
Yeah.
We are moving on to the second hour of our recording session.
Talk about Eclipse.
Bye, guys.
Until next time, friends. Bye.
Is it hot in here or is it just me tuning in to hear these three chatting about fantasy novels of the spicy variety? Not your average book club, if you know what I mean. be to see us, or is that a dagger? It's feast, sheath, shatter.